So we all understand that storytelling at its most basic is just conflict and the resolution of that conflict. The Fellowship wants to stop Sauron by destroying the ring, Sauron wants to reclaim the ring. The big city lawyer wants to take over the small town business and get back to their important business life, and the small town business owner wants to protect what their family have made. The Fellowship eventually fights through all of their wars and conflicts to defeat Sauron, and the big city lawyer falls in love with the small town and the small town business owner. Conflicts get resolved and everyone goes home happy, unless you're Sauron, in which case you're dead, and everyone's happy because Sauron's horrible. But when you're trying to create your antagonist for your story, when you're trying to create that villain, see, it's easy with the small town baker because he's not really the antagonist. Really, the antagonist is the corporation, but they also kind of end up playing the role of just the stakes. And the same with Sauron, which is why you get Saruman and Grima Wormtongue in Lord of the Rings. They're smaller, more focused villains that your readers can actually have a real character to look at. And when you're trying to make that character, lots of people will point out that no one thinks they're the villain. That's very true. And I think the best way to do that is when you're writing your villain, remember that you're writing the hero of a different story. They see the protagonists as the villains, the people who are foolish or too blinded by their own view of the world to recognize what needs to be done. So the antagonist is really going to make everything better if they could just win. But they have a fatal flaw, and that fatal flaw is what's going to undo them. So when you're writing your antagonist, what you're really writing is the protagonist of a tragedy. Somebody that could have succeeded if it weren't for that fatal flaw that's going to be exploited and end in their downfall. With Sauron and his forces, it's the fact that evil can't create and can't unify. There was no chance they would ever really be able to band together because Tolkien specifically viewed evil as something that could not create. So even when it came to civilization, they could just mimic better civilizations, but twist it in wrong. And when it comes to the soulless corporation trying to take over the small town business, it's a soulless corporation. It doesn't have anything to offer. Its fatal flaw was the thin veneer of comfort that can't be overwhelmed by just the simple charm of the friendly fictional little town. So write your villains as if they're your heroes and write them with the sympathy that you know that they can't succeed.